All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I'm going to call this podcast is Women Stop Waiting for Men to Choose You. So, if you know anything about me, I try to help men and women a lot of times regarding their self-confidence when it comes to being in relationships. I even have a program I'll call Mastering Self-Confidence. That program is specifically made for men, though. And that's to help them with advice regarding dating, how to find the woman of their dreams, fashion, style, fitness, things in that nature, I guess you could say. And I get into a lot of other things in there too. Also, how to handle a bad breakup, even if it was just a separation or even a divorce. And I started to get a lot of feedback from women. So I kind of trying to help both. And I've been getting a better response from women than I've ever thought that I would ever get, which was quite interesting to me because a lot of times I did hang out with a lot of women, a lot more women than men at times. And the only reason I kind of went after the men because it's kind of, I just felt like it was weird to be like, hey, I'm going to help women find men, which it is what it is. I just felt maybe more comfortable helping men, and I thought men needed more help, or at least the ones I was around, or at least the ones that would also connect with me. So I kind of went that direction. But I definitely want to start going to the direction of helping women. I've been on the phone with different women and going back and forth, helping them on social media and things. And a lot of times I run into women and I still think they're caught up with this traditional type of way of thinking, which I get it. It's a lot of programming saying, where men should be the ones to pursue them. And a lot of times I talk about women not understanding that after a certain amount of time of men being rejected, going after women, a lot give up or a lot lose interest. And I don't think a lot of women understand that side of the game, if you want to call it. It's not even a game, but the game of men have to pursue women. You know, the famous saying, what is it? Men chase women till women catch men, or whatever is a joke. But a lot of times also men aren't good at asking women out. They're too nervous, maybe too introverted. They're not good, they're not really good openers on how to have a conversation with a woman. And I think even if you're a woman, you can understand this. Because, I think it's even hard for women, say, sometimes to even talk to strangers as well. You have been through this. But can you imagine throughout your life that you always have to be the one to maybe pursue someone? That's the mindset, or that's kind of the man's job, which is understandable. I get it. But back to women again, I think in this day and age, I think you're losing out a lot. And the bullshit's kind of over of kind of waiting for men to make a move on you. I don't care if it's on social media or through a dating app or a dating website or playing that game. If you're interested in someone, talk to them. My whole thing in meeting people is just learning to talk with one another. I am definitely not someone who's going to pitch hitting on one another, asking them to go out for dinner immediately, spending all this time with this person that you don't even know, or money or any of this shit. All it is at the beginning is a conversation. No matter who you end up with, you're going to start with a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. You both have to eventually talk to one another to figure out if you're interested in one another, besides the other component of the attraction to one another. But back to women again, and I should say more or less in public. I think a lot of women, because I know a lot of these women, they tell me, Rich, I can't find a man. There's no, the typical things. I go out there and, they're all this or they're all that, or, I'm out there and none of them talk to me, or they don't, some are so cheap they don't buy me a drink, or they don't want to, all these different types of things. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? Why are you waiting for a man to make, the move on you? If you see someone you're interested in, why aren't you making the move? Well, I wasn't, raised that way, and that makes me look slutty, or that makes me look like, I'm too aggressive. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? You think opening and having a nice conversation with somebody, you probably could do that at work or anywhere else. But if you see somebody in public that you think is interesting, or you're attracted to, or you think, whatever the case may be, why wouldn't you talk to them? What are you waiting for? You're waiting for that person to talk to you. You don't even know if he's attracted to you also. You don't know, again, is he in a relationship? I mean, unless he's wearing a wedding ring. But what is making you not want to talk to him? Now, again, I get your programming that it's the man's job and all that, but it's really kind of an outdated way of thinking in this day and age. I'm just telling you. Because most women I know, if they want anything else in their life, they have no problem pursuing it. They'll talk to anybody about what, if you have a product, for instance, maybe you work for somebody, or maybe you're an entrepreneur, or maybe whatever the hell you're doing. Most women I know are gangbusters. They can talk to anyone about anything that they're interested in, or pitching, or selling, or whatever. But all of a sudden they see a man that they're not interested in, or I'm sorry, a man they see that they're interested in, and they can't talk to them. Or they can't ask him out and say, hey, I'd like to meet up, one day maybe for a cup of coffee. Or, hey, maybe it is at the coffee house and you're sitting across from a guy you see all the time. Or maybe they work at that coffee house. Or maybe it's at the gym. Or maybe you're outside at in a restaurant or a bar or a place that you hang out at and you see this person all the time. Why wouldn't you pursue this person? So I just really wanted to do a quick podcast on this because I think so many women out there are missing out. But you can't expect men to always be the one to pursue you. And a lot of times, let's face it, the men that do pursue the women, a lot of times, I talk to them, they're not the ones that they want pursuing them. So that's kind of crazy too. I get it. But you can't complain that all the people that keep pursuing you are the ones you don't want. And at the same time, you don't want to pursue the ones that you do want. If you think about it from that perspective, it doesn't make sense. It's up to the woman or man to pursue who they're interested in. Now, here's the deal, I think, women, that I think it gets a little tricky. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know how much rejection you've dealt with, but I do think a lot of women, especially if they're attractive, they're not used to being rejected. They're used to being the ones, that can reject others. There is a component there where if you do pursue somebody, I don't care if you walk up to a stranger, I don't care, again, it could be a bar, it could be a nightclub, a restaurant, a place at work, I don't know, or you even just get introduced to somebody. It could be socially, somebody, you're out, you're like, hey, this is my friend, whatever. And you're like, oh my God, I'm really interested in this person, this guy. Should I just say something? But if I say something, he says no. And then he tells the other person that we both know that he rejected me. That's embarrassing. All this type of shit. I get it. It's not easy. But here's the deal. If you blow it, you blow it. I'm just saying a lot of times when you're out in public, you really sometimes only have one opportunity to talk to somebody and maybe meet up and maybe even get their phone number or maybe even connect on social media. Sometimes, you know what I mean? You may be blowing it with a lot more people than you think. And you're around probably a lot of very attractive men, I'm saying for women, or probably around a lot of cool men that really are people that you'd be of interest in, but you just keep letting them all go by. You keep waiting for them, or you're just, blowing it. Just blowing it. You're not making the move. And I talk about that with men all the time. They're like, oh, I'm not around all the, where's all these women and all this and that. I said, I can take you to a mall right now, and there's 1,000 women. Same with women. I can take you places where there's thousands of men, right? I'm just saying, but you got to make it work for yourself. You got to be the one to pursue. You can't expect everybody else to do it for you. So, got any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up. I'm Rich at richcelenza.com. My website's richcelenza.com. But don't sit around and wait. Just saying, you snooze, you lose.